Home Secretary Yvette Cooper has vowed to tackle the crime levels on Britain's streets by introducing 50 new laws. Now, she says it's time to take back our towns and cities from thugs and thieves, and she'll introduce new charges for shoplifters who commit assault, as well as increasing sentences for knife crime, and also give police powers to enter homes to look for stolen phones, etc., without a warrant. Now, these new laws promise a lot of change. All sounds great, doesn't it? What do you think, though, Denise? Is it going to work? Do you believe it? Do you have faith? Glad to hear it?
I think the latter. I, had a lot of faith in this government when they were elected in, and like many people, I've been hugely disappointed, and I'm no fan of pretty much many things that they've done. But I am reassured to hear that it is being addressed. The outcome remains to be seen. But I just think that, and I think everybody agrees, that there is no incentive not to misbehave or commit crimes, It has become a lawless society. And when they start putting an OK cap on how much you're allowed to shoplift, I just think we are in rack and ruin. There are certain countries that, I certainly don't abide by certain of their laws, but, when you know what the punishments are, you don't do the crime. Whereas here, there is no punishment. I remember that Lawless chap, Mizzy, that was going around terrorising people, going into their homes, stealing their dogs, going into shops, terrorising pensioners by wrecking them. And he got smacks on the hand and then gets asked to do a YouTube channel or something. It drives me mad. So I'm just pleased to hear Yvette Cooper say that if somebody nicks your phone and you know where it is, they don't need to get a warrant. They have the right to go and take that phone. Janet's got a slightly
The thing is with that, though, Janet, have they got the resources?
Well, number one, have they got the resources? I'm completely 100% with Denise that something's got to be done to stop the atmosphere that, so many people are getting away with things and shoplifting has just become so commonplace and theft, street crime has soared. The measures, will they work? First of all, raiding someone without a warrant. You're a criminal, you live in a block of flats, you look over your balcony, they're coming. You can see them. So what are you going to do? Dispose of the evidence. I can see all sorts of issues where that will not work.
But if you don't see them coming, and they do, and you're asleep, and they raid your house, and they catch you, and they find stolen goods...
They've already said that geolocation, i.e. someone's phone stolen and they know it's in a particular flat, that is not enough. They need evidence. They need more evidence than that to be able to enter the flat without a warrant.
They don't seem to have enough resources, enough officers to fight... I mean, it's all crime, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but we don't have enough court time either.
Look at how many thousands of people have their phones stolen.
I know, we don't have court time.
Do you think they're going to have enough police officers to go, oh, we've heard that Billy Jones at Flat
No, I mean, she did say they're going to invest so many billion on new police officers next year, but they've said that before and we don't seem to...
And we know that some forces are slimming down the community policemen because they just can't afford
it. Well, exactly, so it sounds good on paper, Colleen.
Well, it all sounds good, doesn't it? But it's whether they ever follow it through. I'm sick of them saying stuff and then it doesn't follow through. And then other days we're having a topic on here that they're saying, well, there's not enough room in prisons, so we have to work out a way where we can let people out and all of those things. And now they're bringing in these new laws, which is going to be a lot of paperwork for police who haven't got time to do all of that. And I just think we need to look more into... there's no deterrent for these.
No, there isn't.
Especially the kids, the teenagers. There's no fear in anyone right now because they know...
But there's no fear in schools. They've taken teachers. The kids don't have boundaries anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe we need to look into that. And I don't mean bringing back, barbaric stuff or smacking, having the right to... But I grew up with a really healthy respect of authority to the point where some of it scared the life out of me. But that wasn't a bad thing. It was just I knew if I was in trouble, I was really in trouble. Well, whether that be at home with my mum. I'd rather go to prison than go home to my mum. You know what I mean? Because she'd be a lot worse. But now there's none of that. Parents can't do anything. Teachers can't do anything. The police can't do anything. Now they're saying, oh, well, we're going to find phones. So what?
Yeah, so they brought in ASBOs, which applied to children over the age of 10, and then they scrapped them in 2014. Now they've announced today they're bringing in respect orders that only apply to adults. So it seems
What's
to me
a respect order?
Well, exactly.
But if you remember, kids were wearing ASBOs like a badge of honour.
Yeah, they were.
At
Yeah.
the time, it was supposed to be a deterrent, wasn't it? And they'd have an ankle tag or something. They were strutting around like, yeah, look at me. And the other kids were like, oh, he's cool, she's cool. So it didn't seem to be a deterrent even
No,
then.
and also the older group of thugs are using the younger kids because they know the younger kids can't get into trouble.
Yeah,
so
they're
they're paying
using
them to go out and steal things because they won't get into trouble.
Yeah.
Well, they're
They'll just
using
get a
them to
telling
run
off.
drugs and all sorts
Yeah, it's
of
shocking.
stuff.
So what-
But isn't the other problem, just briefly, that this criminalises and places things in a court with a jury in a system that's already not
creaking.
functioning.
Yeah.
So you're just making more of a bottleneck.
But then
and
what do you
prisons
do?
aren't
Because
full.
if Yvette Cooper was doing nothing, as the Home Secretary, we'd be going, well, what are they doing about phone theft and e-scooter cycle theft and handbag theft and muggings? So they're between a rock
Does it
and a
not
hard
make you
place.
think that you want to emigrate? We always talk about it. I know it's a pipe dream, but there's so many people that I know are genuinely thinking of emigrating.
That's
Oh, look at Janet's face. Why is it selfish?
So selfish.
Why is it selfish?
If you
It's up
don't
to
like
me.
the country that you're in, do something about it
I'm
yourself.
trying to.
Like, go to another country. Oh, like, go to Dubai or a country. That's a very liberal society
And you
there,
pay
I
no
don't
tax.
think. Very, very
it's safe.
terrific human rights laws there. So you would be a country that just does have a democratic tradition and does have free speech and does respect human rights and rush to another place where they are, like, by the
In this
by.
country, we respect the criminals' human rights more than the bloomin' victims' human rights.
But I come back to my point, which is yes, I agree. People are depressed and people feel let down by Labour. But the way to change it is to get elected and change it yourself and stop whinging.
Well, why don't you be Prime Minister? I've said it before.
Janet for Prime Minister, everybody.
Yes.
You definitely get my vote.